well for them. What is IELTS? Anyone of you? What is IELTS?
International English Language Test.
Is testing what S stands for?
Is system.
Yeah, so International English Language Testing System.
I'm great teacher.
Yeah, what does it mean? What it does? Why people take this test?
To
What
know about the academic
Come on.
academic standard of English
Excellent.
individuals and the students who are applying for English taught universities.
Test your proficiency in English language. What proficiency means? What proficiency means?
In speaking, listening, writing, reading.
Proficiency means how well you can communicate, huh?
Okay.
How well you can communicate. How well, for example, you understand when you are reading something. How well you can understand while you're listening to something. How well you can write if you're writing in a topic. So proficiency means it's testing the level of your English understanding, in terms of 4 skills. Anna? They are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now, who designed this IELTS? Any idea? Anyone of you? Who designed IELTS?
It's from England. Right?
Yeah, it is owned by and designed by Cambridge University. There is an organization, IDP Australia, and from Canadian government educational system as well. So by 3 organizations: Canada, Cambridge University in England, and IDP Australia. Well, actually, who accept IELTS? Can you tell me who accept IELTS?
Most of the universities around the world accept IELTS.
Sure, IELTS is accepted by over 10,000 organizations. How many organizations? Over 10,000 organizations. Yep. It could be universities. It could be huge, large companies. And it could be, for example, any maybe other restaurants. It could be anything. I mean, there could be. You want to work with any professional bodies, for example, as a restaurant. Sorry, as an office assistant, or maybe you're working in a big company. You're working with a politician in Europe, especially in London. Those things you want to work as a office assistant, maybe as a bodyguard, as any political thing or non-political thing that you have to do. You have to take what? You have to take IELTS. Because it just tests the proficiency, the level of your proficiency in English language. Now, these 10,000 organizations accept IELTS. Well, IELTS is for a skilled based exam. Anna? How many skills?
4.
Okay. Can you tell me the skills?
Reading, writing,
writing,
Speaking,
listening, and
speaking.
So actually, again, IELTS is divided into 2 tests. Can you tell me what's the first test? What's the next one?
I think
Academic test. I'm sure the spelling is right. Academic test. We've got a general test. Can you tell me what general test means? GNER. IELTS. What's the difference between IELTS general and IELTS academic?
General test may covers everything like grammar, overall everything related to a language.
So what about academic?
Academic, it is more with a higher level.
Somehow.
It tests the student if they are ready for the academic level or not.
Well, actually, both skills have this four skills. Both tests have these four skills. Reading, listening, and speaking, writing. For academic, the same. Listening, reading, writing, and these things. Well, actually, general is for living purposes. For example, you want to work in Australia, then you have to take what? You have to take IELTS. General. For example, you want to work in a company, then you have to take what? You have to take this IELTS. General. For example, your brother has a case for you. Maybe your family member is in Australia, they are inviting you. Then you have to take what? You have to take IELTS. General. Maybe you applied for any big company and, for example, law as a lawyer, then you have to take what? Then you have to take this IELTS. General. But IELTS academic is for academic purposes. It's for university degrees. You want to do your bachelor, you want to do your master, you want to start a school, you want to do your PhD, you want to do any other researches, then you have to do what? You have to take IELTS academic. So that's the differences. That IELTS academic is for academic purposes. General is very general. You want to work, you want to live, you want to go as a tourist, all these things, then you have to take this IELTS general test in those countries. For example, in England and even in Germany. In Germany, both requires mostly the companies that requires general language, and international companies, then you have to take IELTS general. But in Dot scholarship, you have to take what? You have to take IELTS academic. So this IELTS is accepted mostly in all universities of the world where the teaching system is in English language. For example, in China, in India, in Europe, and in Korea and Japan, South Korea and Japan, and Singapore, all these things that require IELTS. And academic, yeah.
If we give exam, they will ask us general test or academic test.
Sure. Yeah. No, they will not ask you when you fill the form, application form, you want to apply for the test. You have to take one option. You want to do general or you want to do the academic. So it's up to you.
It
Which
will
one
be
you want?
better that we have general test.
Well, it's up to you. What purposes you have. You want to do your studies, or you want to do your, for example, you want to live there. Okay. Now I will tell you there is differences between these two tests. A little bit differences. Anyone of you can tell me what could be the differences in this test, in the test of general and academic? What do you think?
I think the general test will ask us to write or listen about everything, but academic test, it will just focusing on our studies, which field do we study or which field we will study, and it has to be like this somehow.
Okay, it is somehow right, but not completely. See, actually, in IELTS, it is a language test. It does not check your specific knowledge. It's not testing your mathematics. It's not testing your geography, biology knowledge. It's not testing any science knowledge. Well, there are differences between IELTS general and academic test. Well, in general and academic, listening and speaking are the same. Listening and speaking for the general and academic is the same, but reading and writing are different. For general, we've got another difference, reading and writing. For academic, we've got another sets of taste. So now, as Shagufta somehow talked, she was up to extent correct. Well, in IELTS general, reading and writing are a bit easy. For example, if they give you a text to read, those reading are a bit simpler. For example, it could be about pollution, it could be about maybe population, it could be about restaurants, it could be about simple topics out there, and then you have to read and then you have to find the answers. But in reading for academic, there are highly academic articles. There are, for example, articles taken from BBC, from any other highly magazine, which is related somehow to university as well. For example, it could be about researches related to science, related to health, related to COVID-19, related to pollution, there's global warming things. So academic, this is a little bit academic, a little bit about researches, the reading test. And the writing is the same. Writing for general, for example, they ask you to write a letter. For example, you write a letter, you forgot you're back in a restaurant, and then how you write a letter. Very simple. Write later, and then that's it. Or maybe write a very simple essay about, suppose, working in a restaurant or working in a company. So you just write an essay about those things. But an academic, you're writing to professors, so it should be a bit formal, and you're writing an essay. So essay, you must know the structures of paragraphs, sentences, structures, and all those things that inshallah we'll cover in this course. So that's why academic is a bit different, general is a bit different, but listening and speaking are the same. Listening is the same for this one as well, for academic as well, for general as well. Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Now, what we are doing in our course, well, firstly, dear students, that we do the first month listening and just speaking. Let me just
Pray for them, teacher.
yeah, we've got speaking. IELTS is speaking. Well, IELTS is speaking, dear students. مدة IELTS speaking قدر simultaneously 11 to maybe somehow 13 minutes, and maybe all of 12 minutes you got here, and then all of
Overall, right?
Huh?
It's overall total
Sure.
timing.
Sure. Overall كلها. It has 3 parts. Part 1 there is we've got part 2 as well. We've got part 3 as well. Part 1 is dear students همیشه بامتحان IELTS it could be about, for example, 4 to 5 minutes, and it is interview question. Can you tell me how interview question is like? Like, for example, all questions about yourself. مثلا,
Explanation questions mostly, right?
what do you do? What do you want? What do you like? Tell me about your best friend, what books you read. Tell me about your country, about your city, about your home, family. Every question is about yourself. أما بخشي دومش yes. بخشي دومش cue card. Can you tell me what's cue card?
I don't know.
Okay. 2 to 3 minutes وقت میگیره 2 to 3 minutes چی میشه؟ مثلا شما را یک توپیک میدن با موضوعات متفاوت سیکو با سب توپیکس. مثلا describe your best friend. بس سيكون سوالي فرعي ميا a double equation. Who is he or she? Why he is or she is best friend? Where you met him or her? And tell me why he is your best friend. كل انتم موضوعاتنا. يعني یک دقیقه درباره شما را یعنی در ورق متى نشته کنین یک دقیقه وقت میده که درباره فکر کنین نوت هم بگیرین 2 دقیقه درباره زمین موضوع صحبت کنین که بخیر استارتی تمام شش در کورس ما برش ما میکنم و تمرین میکنم. Is this clear now?
Yes.
Part 3 part 3 it takes about 4 to 5 maybe to 6 minutes, and it is general question. What you mean? It is general questions related to part 2. حالا the part 2 درباره best friend نه the best friend خودت بود. اما in part 3 مثلا پرسونه که for example why people make friend. سوالی بسیار کلی میاد. Why people make friend? Or why friendship is good? So for example, friend is important or family? There are very general questions related to part 2. Part 2 أرشك بدك سوالين. Part 3 أم دزمومية أما كليتها. If we collect all the timing, if we add all of them, then it is 11 to 12 and sometimes 13 minutes. Am I clear, students?
Yes.
Yes.
Any question?
No, sir.
Okay.